Won't you be my forever woman? Try to be your forever man. Forever man, forever man, forever alone. What's up, folks? Here we go. We got a TC Paintball War, the live stream of the Eric Zane Show podcast. Boy, I'm wound up today. Brought to you by TC Paintball. Did you know that Rick from TC Paintball is getting set to jet out to, I don't know, somewhere in the world on Air Force COVID for another big paintball championship. Wish you luck, Rick. That Tuesday you fly out. All right, buddy. Good luck. Go get him. Go get him, little fella. TC Paintball, though, we have the COVID Eric Zane Show. Why am I saying COVID? The Eric Zane Show podcast, Paintball War number 11, the Kidney Uprising. No, that's not what we called it. The Kidney Offensive. That's what it is. That is coming up the day before Thanksgiving. It is a daytime event, noon start time. Reach out to me, Eric at ericzaneshow.com if you want in, okay? That'll be a great time. You need to RSVP. $35 is all it's going to cost you. You get the paint, you get the mask, you get the gun. All the field time is taken care of. It's going to be awesome. We got a free pizza party ahead of time with BC Pizza Grand Rapids. Why is it that all the people that work with me, it's like there's another business that sounds like it? You got TC Paintball and BC Pizza, and they're kind of like working together. You bring the BC Pizza to TC Paintball. Ugh. And then you got like A&E heating and cooling and A&D cleaning. What the hell is going on? You know it's crazy when you're getting so many sponsors that like they actually sound alike because there's so many sponsors that are involved in this show. But, yeah, that's what's happening again. Please join me. We will have so much fun. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to keep a little further away than most times. I'm very, very cautious right now, being that we are getting down to the wire on the whole kidney thing. And I just don't want to be sidled with COVID-19, and that will put everything on hold and make everything miserable and awful. So I just don't want that. So I'll get there. I'll be like, here's the pizza. Eat up. I'll be standing over here picking my ass. And then we'll play paintball. Don't worry. We don't get close to each other when we're playing paintball. We're trying to stay away from each other. But nevertheless, I want you there with TC Paintball. Okay? That is the day before Thanksgiving. Let me know. I don't like waiting around as to who is going to be there. Okay? F45 Byron Center. I would be there working out. But again, I've put a... kind of like doing as much as I can to be away from people. F45 Byron Center. They are socially distant when they work out, but this is a matter of life or death with me when it comes to the kidney. But otherwise, I would be there. I promise you I would. F45 Byron Center. Their website, f45training.com/Byron Center. Sign up for free, okay? The first week is on them. You just fill out a little bit of information, show up to their place, F45, right next to Family Fair in Byron Center, Michigan. And then that's it, man. It's awesome. Thank you to them. It is a group training with a personal touch. It is group training with a personal touch, okay? This is a 45-minute workout. Workouts going on all day long. You work out on the weekend. Doesn't matter. They've got you covered. F45training.com/Byron Center. And last but not least, the Kent County Health Department. Boy, what a year. My gosh. 4 COVID testing stations throughout the area that they have set up for you to basically just pull up, have the little swabby, and then you drive away, and then they let you know what's up. Not to mention, get your kids vaccinated with everything that they need. Don't let those vaccinations just slide by during COVID as we find our way through this. And then, of course, flu shots. Get a damn flu shot, man. Gone are the myths, or the myth that when you, man, I got a flu shot and I got the flu. See what it did now? That's not what happened, you jackass. It doesn't work that way. That is an absolute myth. You do not get the flu when you get a flu shot, you dumb bitch. Thank you to the Kent County Health Department, accesskent.com/health. Okay, it is the 9th of November, 2020.
True international effort to pressure.
This week. What?
True international effort to pressure.
The Eric Zane Show podcast begins now.
True international effort to pressure.
Hey everyone, Kenny from Nashville here. And after a long day of listening to some crappy death metal, I like to unwind with the Eric Zane Show podcast. Yeah. Here's your host, Eric Zane.
Well, thank you, Kenny. I appreciate you. Kenny will be joining me on Tech Tuesday with Blue Frost IT. Tomorrow on the show, we'll be doing a live stream with Alan from Blue Frost IT. Kenny's there. We do it live on Facebook. You see our faces. It looks like a typical Zoom. If you want to join us for Tech Tuesday, that would be awesome. I just realized I don't have one of my stories ready. That's okay, I got it now. Okay, man, thanks a lot for being here, part of the Eric Zane Show podcast. Got a lot of stuff to get to today. A little bit of a loosey-goosey atmosphere here. You know, I would love to be able to adopt this type of non-neurotic handling of the podcast, because I'm sitting there, getting ready hours leading up to the podcast the night before. There's always that. I get a nervous energy that is just embarrassing because I've been doing this for so long. Oh, God, I think we're well over 460 free podcasts. If you think about it, you do 460 free podcasts, and then there's also 460 plus Patreon bonus podcasts. So we're just, I mean, seriously, the shows are piling up. Now, granted, the Patreon bonus podcast isn't nearly as long or in depth, but I like to keep this one the current length. You know, it varies. Sometimes it's gone well over 2 hours. Sometimes it's like hour 20. It just depends, man. It depends what the world gives you. You got to let the river take you where it goes, okay? But, a lot of the times I'm like sweating what the hell I'm going to do, and just I get nervous energy. And then once the light comes on that says, hey, you're live, well, then it's good. No problem at all. But today I was like, just, it's going to be fine. Don't even worry about it. No, and seriously, I have these conversations with like myself, and I have the most loose attitude about this show today. So it might be the worst or the best. Who knows where it's going to go? Probably the worst. Thank you for enjoying the show live. As you know, I do it on Facebook, brought to you by Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid Live, Facebook.com/Eric Zane fan page. Twitter is brought to you by Blue Frost IT. It's a Periscope video that is live as well. And YouTube, the almighty YouTube, brought to you by F45 Training Byron Center. Okay? So while it's all going on live, you're getting it via the live stream, and then it's of course always available to download wherever you download podcasts. This show. So if you do enjoy it live, say, shit, I had no idea Zane even does a podcast. Well, it's not just on Facebook or a live stream. I actually have all of this audio. It gets saved and then posted. And then a lot of people are like, hey, how long does it take to edit the podcast when you're done recording it? The audio podcast. It's like, well, unless there's some type of meltdown, there's no editing. I just roll it, clip off the very beginning, clip off the very end. Takes like 1 second to clean it up, and then off we go. I post it. So that's what's up. We have a plenty to talk about today, and I'd like to quickly go through the rundown of things. I have so many thoughts running around in my head about all of these topics. We have a winner and a loser who says he's the winner, and the first winner I mentioned cheated. What? All right. We'll be getting into that. iHeartRadio has to be running out on nails to pound into the coffin, right? I know what are they going to run out of first? Nails or people to fire? Holy fuck. you remember in January when I had that shitty board op job where I was just sitting there, well, yeah, I just want to be on hand in case they need me from the bullpen. This idealistic view that I could somehow work there. And I was like sitting there. My shitty job was to sit at a fucking board while like Jim Brandstetter tries to put consecutive words together to complete a sentence, while his Homer in crime, Dan Deerdorf, sits there and stumbles and bumbles their way through a fucking Michigan broadcast. I'm the dick sitting there like pushing the commercials and shit like that for like $3 an hour. Oh, God. Thinking that maybe one day I could get back on the radio. Well, we all know what happened. In January, I was sitting right here, and then I got a text message from my buddy Phil Tower. He says, I need to talk to you right away. And I was like, oh, this is it. This is the big one. They're going to tell me that they're going to give me the morning show. This is my big call. All right, I get on the podcast. I almost called him live on the podcast. That would have been fucking weird. And it's Fagan and Tower. Fagan's the boss. Phil was in on the call too. I love these guys dearly. Both of them, they're fantastic. And they're like, yeah, we got to fire you. You're firing for what? I mean, I'm making no money. How could you possibly fire me? Well, I'm already opening up this can of worms, and I want to save it for when I talk about it. But iHeart is just, oh my God. I feel terrible for these people. It was another bloody Friday for radio, man, as more firings happen and more coming this week. My gosh. Tell you what, that podcast thing is not looking so bad these days. I'm going to introduce you to Chris Nikic, Nikic. It's either Nikic sounds like it's hard to say, and it's when I say Nikic, I feel like I'm about to say something different and be canceled. So I'm going to say Nikic, Chris Nikic. And I've been following his story for some time. Zaniac Mike Ball was the one who turned me on to this guy. And this guy is another story that we all need. Do you remember late last week I talked with Jay Schwant, the guy who just had a daughter after having 14 boys? Still can't believe that. That was the story that we all need. I could do a whole segment of stories we all need. Like, this is the type of story that makes you go, yes, oh my God, I want to smile and cheer and cry with joy. Nikic is actually, in my opinion, the biggest story we all need in the past year. There's a lot of reasons why. I'm going to tell you all about this guy. I'm going to introduce you to him. He is going to be on the show, not today, but very soon. Him and his father, Nick Nikic is the guy's name. I wouldn't make it would sound weird if it was Nick Nikic, right? God, I just feel like I'm about to break some type of racist law by saying that. And another week, another horrible broken leg in football. Yeah, my God. Woo. There's a lot to that one. A lot of different wrinkles in that story. And I'll get to it all. First, thanks again for checking out the show. I've been doing this for going on 2 years now. Somehow it's we've been managed to piece it together. If you don't know the history, it was pretty much sheer will by you all that put me in the spot that I'm in right now, where I can sustain my family. All right. This is my job. I put content out all day and do this show. You see all these sponsors behind me. And I was propped up initially by just the audience. I was in this unfinished room, and I did a podcast 2 days after I got fired from Cumulus. And then I had a Patreon built too, which is a paywall. And the idea that I said on that podcast is still the same thing that I am doing today. Do a free podcast, and then I also offered a Patreon for $5 or $10 a month. And you all came out in droves. And at the highest, it was like 422 of you giving me $5 or $10 a month, and that was an enormous amount of money. that was able to sustain me for a couple of months while I then went to work trying to get sponsorships. The very first people that reached out to me, Rick from TC Paintball, Big Dick Donnie from Back Alley Comedy Club, and Howard City Lanes. And then that was like about 2 or 3 days after that first podcast, I posted a Facebook Live, and I said, I have decided that I am going to make this my job, that for a normal work day, I will be focusing only on this and not like any other job, like selling cars or whatever it is. And that was almost 2 years ago. So it was you, the audience, that responded with the unbelievable support. In fact, that free podcast, that first one, it debuted in the top 40, I believe, on iTunes, and then steadily went down. But still, I had enough fans, enough supporters, enough friends, people who love us, who have allowed us to keep doing this. Patreon, it's not where it was, but it's still remarkably stable. So thank you so much for your support on that. And that's it, man. I've been just kind of like taking the proof that my podcast gets results and selling it out of the trunk of my car, just me and you. So thank you. And the reason why I bring that up is because I'm reminded every day of what I have. First of all, this room was built by a number of people, one of which I had a falling out with, which makes me sad. His name is Troy. We used to be pretty good pals, and now we are not, because he took a run at Ben, and I asked him not to, and it got ugly. So you got to do what you got to do, I guess. But you see, like this piece of equipment over here, like Patriot Nick sent me that. That is like another audio board that I can utilize as I continue to grow the show. He just sent me that. I'm like, holy shit, man, this is incredible. Everything in this room, the walls, the paint, the flooring, the wood wall, it was all given, donated, and installed by you all. Thank you. And there's been countless times when shit just shows up or money comes flying in from, oh my God, what are you guys doing? It's just incredible. That just happened with an enormous cash gift, a donation, if you will. And I didn't ask for it. You just, hey, let's go and give him something. It's like, my God, you're just the most bold, beautiful, stunning group of friends I have ever had. And I try to say friends. I try to always make it that way because I care so much about every single one of you. And you've been there with all of the things that have gone on with my mother, and people just walking up the driveway, friends. When Chris and Megan showed up with wind chimes for my mother, the International Star Registry gift, which, I tried to see my mom's star, but frickin' Cancer was below the horizon, the constellation Cancer. That's where my mother's star is. And I didn't want to wait till 2 a.m. to see it. So I might have to wait on that. This shows up just before I leave for Fear Bunker North, this thing. Some sweet, amazing human being sent me a heater for this room. I had, you see, Madison broke the damn heater, so I bought this shitty thing, and it sucks. And I bitched about it, and then that's all I had to say. The next thing I know is this amazing piece of equipment shows up. I don't know who sent it. I love you so much more than I did before. It turns out today is warm. We don't need to worry about it. So thanks. My God. I am so lucky. That's all that has kept the Eric Zane Show podcast going for 2 years. So thanks. What a weekend. Okay, I went to my place up north. I had to rake the leaves. This is, of course, my dad's property for the longest time. It's not much. It's just a patch of land with an old beat-up trailer on it. But boy, do I love it. Now, this was incredible because up in Grayling, Michigan, I've talked to you many times before that this is the area where the National Guard trains. It's like the biggest National Guard base east of the Mississippi River. and several different states' National Guard train there, and Canada, if I'm not mistaken. They show up at this base all throughout the year, and they train in this big, gigantic swath of land, which the property that I have butts up against it. So on a regular basis, you will hear guns going off and just all sorts of military activity and exercises and training. It isn't often, though, that you have happened what happened this weekend, because I'm sitting there in that old 1952 Pontiac Chief trailer, eating my breakfast, sitting next to Bruce and O'Neill, and I hear this noise that's scaring the shit out of the dogs. It sounds like thunder. You may have seen the video. It is two U.S. Air Guard, U.S. Air Force fighter jets flying over just above the trees. I'm like, what the fuck is that? And then I look out, and I mean, seriously, dude, we're talking 400 feet, maybe, I don't know, 600 feet, doesn't matter. And I recognize it right away. These are jets that are known as Warthogs, A-10 Thunderbolt II aircraft. That's what they're called. And there's two of them, A-10 Thunderbolt II. And wow, what an amazing thing. And I figured out that I've been hearing a noise since forever, and I couldn't figure out what it was. And then I finally have figured out what that was. It's a noise that comes from these aircraft. What they do is they're flying overhead, and then they go back over to the training area where they can shoot. And they're firing this cannon that this freaking jet has on it. And the nose of the jet has a big-ass Gatling gun. You know, the round one with all the spots where the bullets come out and it spins, okay? I've done some research on this aircraft, all right? This aircraft is like a flying tank, and it was built near the end of the Cold War, and we still use the same damn jet, and except it's gotten more and more elaborate in its, first of all, munitions, maneuverability, speed, and amount of fire it can take. It's like a tank. And the guy who's in the pilot, or the woman who's the pilot, I should say, the guy or the woman are surrounded by like titanium. And it's very, very difficult to shoot this plane down. And the reason why it's so heavy and has so much armament is because they use this thing to fly just above the ground and blow up fucking tanks. It's installed into the military for what they call close air support. So if there's like a tank battalion, and they use this in the Gulf War, they just bring in these A-10 Thunderbolt II, and they have this Gatling gun. They basically describe this plane as a gun with a plane attached to it, because this thing spins around and it shoots, and the noise it makes, and this is the noise I've been hearing forever, and I couldn't figure out what it was, is a noise that kind of goes like this. And I was like, what is that noise? It sounds like it's so incredibly loud and powerful, and I haven't been able to figure it out, but now I know what it is, because I did, when I was doing the research, I figured it out. I go, oh, that's the noise I've been hearing. No, I didn't see them actually do this. They just flew over when I saw them over the weekend. But and boy, was that cool to see them just go screaming over that fast. And these tank buster jets and guns on it. It holds about 1,100 rounds. So the little burst that I hear, that's enough to take out like 5 tanks. And the rounds on it are about the size of, if you go and buy a 40 of beer, a 40 ouncer of beer, that's like what the rounds look like. And so they come flying out of this thing. I was reading that when it's flying, when they fire the gun, there's so much force going back the other way that it actually slows the fucking jet down. Incredible. And so this thing is, it flies, 2 of them. I look up and they're right there, and I go, son of a bitch, this is awesome. So then I'm sitting there waiting. on the property. And then I hear it in the distance, and I'm like, oh, they're coming back. So I hit record, and sure enough, man, here comes the warthog. And then another one right behind it. I shot the video. I posted it on my Facebook and my Twitter and my YouTube. That was so sweet. It was like my own personal air show is what that was. And man, God, that was, and then they kept flying over. I was like getting bored. It was like, yeah, all right, I get it. And it's like, they were like, hey, my one fear though was that they would accidentally see my old trailer and go, that's our target. Look how it has to be. There's nothing, no one would ever want to actually go inside of that place. It's probably full of mice. Which leads me to this. It has been a war against the mice, and I don't know if they're getting smarter or what, and I'm not sure what's going on there, but I walk into the trailer, and as you know, I usually have about 10 traps, and I didn't find one mouse when I went in there, but one thing hit me in the face, and that was the smell of a dead mouse. And so I know that I got one, and I know that, well, every trap was sprung. And what's crazy is I know where I put them. And so the trap is, when I walk in, the traps aren't there anymore. They've moved. Now, it might be they pop to another spot, but that's usually I'm going to move it like 3 or 4 feet. Sometimes they just pop. Whatever happens, it just springs. That happens. Or a mouse will touch a damn thing and somehow manage to not get hit when the thing pops on them. Or they get hit and they're stuck and they can still move. And then they drag their broken body to a certain spot to go die, because several of those damn traps, I'm like, now I know I put one there, and there, and there's nothing now. There are no traps there. Where the hell are they? So A plus B, A, can't find the traps. B, smells like a dead mouse. I was pretty sure, I didn't tell Diana this, thank God, that there's a rotting mouse somewhere in that damn place. And I'm like, come on, man. It's going to another level when the traps are actually getting sprung, mouse are actually getting hit, and then they're wandering away with the trap hanging on them. Little evidence of mice turds on certain spots, on the countertop where I prepare food. I'm like, oh, fuck, man. So that's always, you walk in there, you got to clean all that shit up, disinfect. I didn't catch one damn mouse, but the traps were sprung, so that's not good. That's just, yeah. And so I say to Diana, I go, yeah. She goes, did you find any mice? No. But I can't lie to her. I got to tell her the truth, because you know what's going to happen next time. She comes up there and agrees to stay in there with me, and then there'll be mice in there. Stand by. Excuse me. So, my God, mouse shit everywhere. No dead mice. All right. So the point of the weekend is just to kind of get away and regroup, get my mind together. Rake leaves, which is a huge pain in the ass. Got to be a better way. And then I've got 2 dogs with me. So I've got O'Neill and I've got Bruce. Now, I keep a close eye on them because they love to, well, Bruce, or O'Neill especially, man, he sees a turkey or he sees a squirrel and he's gone. And he's going to go and try to get it. And sure enough, it happened again. I drop the rake. I take off after him. He's running down this driveway that leads into the place, and O'Neill right in hot pursuit, or Bruce right in hot pursuit of O'Neill. And then, typically Bruce runs out of gas, stops, and then just kind of trots back, which he did. But O'Neill's gone, so I have to track him down. So I can't just walk. I have to run, just in case he doesn't come back. Now it turns out he comes back every time. He gets around the corner where I can't see him. You count to 10. He turns around, runs back. But before that, I'm like, well, what if this is the one time that he doesn't come back? So that's always playing on my brain. So I'm taking off running, and I so wish I had a video of this because it would make me a millionaire. It was such an example of the cataclysmic nature of what can happen when you trip on a root. I mean, my body had no chance of regaining its balance in any way, shape, or form. I hit this root that was up about 3 inches off the ground, and in an instant, I body slam myself face down. I mean, like my chest hit and then my face hit, and like dirt in my eyes because I hit so hard. And it's like, I thought I busted my teeth out. I thought I was bleeding. No, I just, my whole body, I felt like I gave myself a fucking concussion. I hit the impact in my chest. I mean, the noise itself, the sound of the trip, and then the silence, the millisecond that it took for my body, which was upright, to now be slammed down onto the ground, a faceplant style. And though I knocked the wind out of myself, I start laughing because I knew that baby Jesus and my mom and Diana's brother are up there going, look at that fucker. Oh my God, I wish we had a cell phone up here to record him. Oh my God, it was just spectacular. Imagine the most absurd wipeout faceplant you've ever seen and magnify it by 10. It's just an absolute shame that there was no video of it, because I would be sitting here right now and I would be the biggest star on social media as the jackass who wiped out. And then his dog walked up to check on him because as I'm rolling there, O'Neill has already turned around and come back, and he comes walking up to me like, what the fuck are you doing? What, huh? Oh my God. Absolutely amazing. That was how I wanted to start the show. Before I get into the rest of it, I call it the intro of the Eric Zane Show podcast. Thank you for being here. A&E Heating and Cooling brings it to you. Call Joe at 616-516-8579. What are you waiting for? Get that furnace checked out, man. Once a year, you need a furnace cleaning, a checkup on it, a tune-up, if you will, and it's just $79. Book it by calling Joe at 616-516-8579. Again, 616-516. That's easy to remember, right? 616 and then just 516. And then 8579. This number is right over there over my shoulder if you miss it, okay? Or just look it up, A&E Heating and Cooling in West Michigan. If you need a new install, you're going to save $450 in rebates right off the bat through DTE. When you install a high-efficiency furnace, he utilizes the Comfort Maker brand of furnaces and air conditioners. So thank you, Joe. Terrytown RV, division between 68th and 76th Street. Amazing RV dealership. And it's always a good time to at least look. And then once you start looking at terrytownrv.com, you're going to be like, wait, what? $190 for that per month for that? And I wow. And it's that easy to, hell, I don't even need a new vehicle to tow it. I can tow it right behind my pickup. And then off you go. You're seeing our great parks. You're traveling. You're doing fun things with your family. Oh man. And that's where those memories are made. I say it many, many times. I wish I had done this when I was a younger dad, when Diane and I were younger parents. It wasn't until our kids were grown that we started to get into traveling around and seeing the sights of our parks and our great outdoors. So if that's for you, if you think that's for you, call upon Terrytown RV. I think I had a stroke there. Did you hear that? Terrytown RV on Division between 68th and 76th Street. Amazing sponsor of the Eric Zane Show podcast. Hang on again. Hey, Red State Dirk. I don't even know if he's on this. He might be still sleeping off the COVID. See, Andrew Fueling is checking in. What's up? Andrew Adam is there. Tom Steele. Dean wants me to put up a walk the plank mousetrap. Yeah, that's not a bad idea because the obvious problems with what I talked about, the regular mousetrap. I think you might be onto something there. It's got a higher hit ratio. Once they get on the plank, they're done for you. Like, what are you talking about? A walk the plank mousetrap? There's a contraption you can order. It's simple, and you just put it over a bucket, and you put the bait on the end of the plank, and the little bastard walks on it, and then it's weighted in a certain way. It just kerplunk, and then he falls in, and that's it. A little drowny, gone. All right. I want to see if Red State Dirk is here. Hang on again. I got a cough. Gosh, little tickle. Are you like me? As soon as you start coughing, you're like, uh-oh, this is a big one. Dirk is under the weather. I don't think I see him here. He feels a little better from what he tells me. On his COVID diagnosis. Hang on, I got a cough again. Sorry. All right, enough. But you definitely want to. I definitely keep checking on him. I want to make sure he's okay. At last, Joe, what did he say last time? Had a decent night. I ate a full meal for the first time in a week. Waiting for the steroid to kick in. Man. All right. Where was I? I was talking about Terrytown RV, and then I got distracted. Oh, one more thing. Pick up a bottle of wine, a growler of beer, or a bottle of grappa from Great Legs Winery, Brewery, Distillery in Holland, Michigan. That's legs, not lakes. Great Legs in Holland, Michigan on Lakewood Boulevard across from the Windmill Estates Mobile Home Park. Great sponsor. Thank you. If you're driving by and you want to try out their wine, their beer, or their grappa, and you see them in Holland, stop in and say hello and get yourself a bottle. You need more information about their hours and where they are. You go to their logo at ericzaneshow.com. It'll take you right to their page. Thank you. So, okay.
Will you shut up, man? You're full of shit. Shush.
Biden.
Will you shut up, man? You're full of shit.
Here we go. Joe Biden wins. My thoughts on this. You have to excuse me. I don't know what's going on with me. I'm not going to lie to you. If I keep coughing like this, I'm going to have to walk away from this for a period of time until I get rid of this, because I do not have the horses to keep it going if I keep coughing. Damn it. Can you imagine if something has gone wrong? I hope and pray not. But I cannot concentrate if I keep coughing like this. Damn it. Hold on. My God. Yeah, I'm right there with you. As soon as I start coughing, I'm like, this is it. I've got it. I got to go get a drink of water. I'll be back. Hang tight. Back in 5 minutes sign. Leave some comments on the Facebook or Patreon or whatever, not Patreon, or YouTube, to let people know what's up. I'll be back in a second. I don't know if this is going to work. Oh, my God. Horrible. Oh, I can still feel it. Something's messing me up. I'm not sure what. Yeah, you can hear it. I walked out of the room and I've been violently coughing. Something is amiss. Now I'm fearful I can't concentrate. I pretty much am. Oh. Damn it. All right, I'm going to try this one more. Boy, listen to it. I just sound like shit. I'm going to try this one more time. If this comes back to bite me in the ass, I'm going to shut it down, then I'll regroup and come back. I got to finish the show. I really want to. Michael's like, take the day off. No, dude, this just came out of nowhere. I think it's like a little, I don't know what it is. I think it might be a redheaded sea hair stuck in there. So if that's the case. I got in a fight with the kids yesterday. Jackie was playing that game Among Us, which is the stupidest game ever. And she dropped a massive F-bomb. And I got so bent out of shape. I was like, I go, come on. I hate that. First of all, if anybody's going to swear in this house, it's going to be me. But even I try not to swear when I'm amongst like my kids, you know? But she dropped a massive F-bomb. And then so her partner in crime, my youngest Madison, says, Dad, I've heard your podcast. And I'm like, yeah, don't even try that shit. I go, it does not apply. That is a podcast, okay? This is my household. Absolutely 100% different. Don't even go there. All right. I'm trying to soldier through this. First of all, let me start with this. Biden's speech. That was a great fucking speech. Anybody who thinks otherwise is a fucking bitter asshole. All right? I don't know if he means a word of it. I don't know if he's going to follow through on any of it. But that was a great speech. Make no bones about it. He was sharp. He was articulate. He looked all around. He worked the whole room. That was absolutely an excellent job by him. If you think that I'm going to sit here, hang out, that I'm going to sit here and be a sour grapes type of citizen voter, because as you know, I voted for Trump, but it ends there, man. The guy I voted for lost. You know what I do? Shrug. You know why? Because again, whoever is president is not really going to change how you do your life. Okay? One person's going to win, the other person's going to lose. The guy I voted for lost. So you pick up the pieces and then you say to the next guy, hey, I hope this next guy does a great job. And that's it, man. That's the American way. One guy won, the other guy lost. But the speech I thought was great. And I don't have any complaints at all about any of that. All of the, I was watching him to see if he'd get in the weeds, but he didn't seem like he had any issues whatsoever. I thought it was all very, very well done. Now, as far as the election goes, excuse me. Again, if you're just getting in here, I'm having a little bit of a throat issue. Trump continues to claim that Joe Biden cheated. He's done this before. In 2016, when Ted Cruz beat him in one of the primaries, he said the same thing about Ted Cruz. Excuse me. and then ironically, Ted Cruz right now is the guy, one of the guys saying that the fix is in, along with Lindsey Graham. And I was reading a letter that George Bush wrote to the American people, and he George W. Bush. It couldn't be the other one because the other one's dead. George W. Bush congratulated Biden, and he also congratulated Trump on his job that he did in being the president. And then he also said the president has a right to contest the election. And to ask for recounts. I'm paraphrasing, but yeah, and he does have that right. But there isn't anything that went wrong, in my opinion. I am not one of these people that believes that this election was stolen, and I'm not going to lie. When I see people that say that, it actually makes me mad. It seems the whole thing seems like a sore loser to me. And nobody, I mean, seriously, that is cliche to say nobody likes a sore loser. It's true. It's so fucking awful. Now, if there was anything that was dirty that happened or underhanded with Biden winning the election, you know how hard that is to cover up? Really hard. It's super hard. Nobody does it. It's that hard. Nobody can do it. It's that hard. Holy shit, if you are saying that Biden cheated to win the election, you better damn well be sure that you can back that up and prove it, okay? And now that Trump has said that he is exploring this or whatever he's doing to try to get to the bottom of it, and with his claims that the election is that the fix was in, excuse me, if you don't have anything really substantial and concrete to show people, shut the fuck up, pack your shit, and get out. Okay? Seriously. Unless there's something really, really substantial. And frankly, if I'm him and I have something substantial, I'm talking about it now. I'm giving specifics, a laundry list of things. And then I'm running it up the flagpole of the courts. Now, again, maybe he will, and then I'll stand corrected, but I don't believe he has shit, and I think he's going to skulk away. He's going to wither away. I predict Trump will have nothing, and he'll say, well, I just decided to give it up and not pursue it for the sake of the America. He's going to say some shit like that. That's what I believe is going to happen. The guy has me so pissed off right now. I'm not going to say that I regret voting for him yet. I'm not going to say that. I still wish he'd won the damn thing. But this is fucking ugly, all right? This is downright despicable at this point. Biden won, fair and square. Get the fuck out. And you know what? Let's just say that there was no specter of a scam, that Trump never threw that out there. This is what I have to say for all you people that are that still hate Biden, still want Trump in there. First of all, stop wasting your energy. Second of all, if that's the case, and I'm sure it is, that he won fair and square, give him a fucking chance. He might fuck it up, but he deserves that chance. He earned that chance. So that's pretty much all I have to say about that. He actually deserves a chance. But as we said, Trump is entitled to contest the election. If there is legit evidence, bring it up, prove it, prove your point, and then we'll see. I am a little annoyed with the people have made this Antrim County, Michigan nonsense as a jumping off point to prove that there is a conspiracy. You need to know this. Antrim County, Michigan is a community where 99% of the residents can't spell the word election, okay? They can't spell the word computer, let alone fix an election. Trust me, this is the creation, the home of the 1,000-yard stare. That was invented in Antrim County, Michigan. Michigan's dimmest live in Antrim County, Michigan. Trust me, they don't have the faculties to be able to fix an election in Antrim County, Michigan. And if you're going to try to fix an election, why are you going to do it in a county that has, I don't know, a few thousand votes in it? All right. So the people that run the show in Antrim County, Michigan, who are overseeing the election, they noticed that this really, really red county suddenly went blue overnight. All right. And that's why this lines up with the whole conspiracy, because, as all those votes were counted in those other places, so those other parts of the world, or of the U.S., those more densely populated areas like the big cities with all the mail-in votes being counted, people were like, oh, my God, just like Antrim County, Michigan. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania is just like Antrim County, Michigan. The fix is in. The software is the same. Everybody took the Antrim County, Michigan story where it wasn't a software glitch. Get this. It was an operator error glitch. Human error, which is because there's a bunch of bumblefucks that live in Antrim County, Michigan. You get these election volunteers are sitting there. They're trying to eat the fucking keyboard, sticking their fingers up their ass, licking their fingers. This is a disaster. And so they're running the election there. It wasn't the fault of the software. It was something to do with human error. That's what they found out. But what you're forgetting is they found it out. It was learned that a mistake was made. So they said, hey, this is a problem. We have to count these by hand. So they did, and they determined that the votes were wrong. It wasn't a Biden county. It was a Trump county, as it always has been. And so that's that. That does not mean that all of these places that have this software, and then everybody conveniently would take that little bit of information and then matched it up with the overnight vote totals, which increased dramatically for Biden as the overnight progressed from election night down into that Wednesday of last week. They take Antrim County and they like put it together like a puzzle, and voila, you've got a beautiful conspiracy for the world and all these degenerate butt fucks to glom onto. And then Trump sees that, and he's like, oh, yeah, that's great. We got to go to Antrim County, Michigan. Look at that. This is an example of this. And so all these talking as Fox News, these disasters, they go ahead and they run with this story like fucking that guy for the Vikings scoring a 70-yard touchdown yesterday. They just tote the rock to the promised land. By the way, the Lions only had 10 guys on the field on that play. Fuck! Man. So, yes. Antrim County, Michigan is the birthplace of the Trump conspiracy on the election. Come on, man. I actually had to reach out to one listener who kept sending me all of these horse shit things. And I'm like, dude, you got to stop. You're embarrassing yourself now. Stop. No more. Okay. Your guy, I guess my guy, because I voted for him, lost. That's it. Turn the page. Move on. Okay. As Biden is now in charge, expect a mask mandate for the U.S. That's going to piss so many people off. Holy shit. Expect that. If this thing is not well under control by the time he gets into office on the inauguration, expect a national mask mandate. I am actually quite intrigued by the things that we will see in the weeks and months that follow. I'm anxious to see what Trump has, if anything, regarding a bogus election. And I'm 99% sure that he has absolutely nothing, and he's a sore fucking loser and a bitch, and is acting like a bitch, and nothing will be learned. And then I'm anxious about that. I can't wait to find out more information on that. I'm also very anxious to see if he will concede ever. Okay. And how about Inauguration Day? Trump has to be there for Inauguration Day. How will he respond? A lot of the Republicans that will be at the inauguration are people that are kind of like, boy, I'm not seeing it the way you're seeing it. That's going to be weird. And how does he go? Hey, he can still be president for 4 more years. He can run again. I mean, he had an unbelievable turnout. He had 71 million votes. That is an awesome job. He actually got the most votes that a sitting president has ever gotten in an election. Stand by. As you know, I'm struggling like crazy here, but I think I've turned the corner. I think I'm doing much better. So, all right. I think he did great. He really did do great. It just turns out, though, that we had 67% of the country voted. Trump, in a lot of ways, and I've made this point before, if Biden is smart, he will really do something for the middle class and the lower middle class and everybody who is below the middle class. And he will work very, very hard towards that. Because that's one of the things that Trump, he was able to appeal to those voters. And that is because in the years leading up to Trump's presidency, I don't think that shit was done for those people, for people who can be described as that. Okay? And then I don't think they expected Hillary Clinton to be able to do anything. And so that's what you needed. You needed a guy like Trump to go in there and fuck everything up, man. Get in that asshole, Larry. Open it up. Leave Snickers wrappers. Spray paint on the wall. Fuck, get in that ass, Larry. And then you open it up and you leave it open, Larry. Great scene. Curb your enthusiasm. That's what Trump did. And I think that if Biden is smart, he will continue to try to make life better for the people that Trump represented. And if he's able to do that, he'll be able to win more people over. And then in 4 years, win again. If he's capable. Don't forget, in 4 years, Joe Biden will be 81 years old. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't do anything. Like, hell, look at Mick Jagger. He's 80 years old. He sounds like he's 40. We'll see. But I'm really interested in seeing how these things play out. And I'm also interested in seeing how Biden responds to the virus. What are you going to do about the virus now? I did see a interesting story on the Today Show that Pfizer is doing very well with a vaccine, which it seems very promising. I'm not going to try to rip anything off of the story. I just saw that it looked like a promising thing, so we'll see. And it's remarkable because as of this point, there is so many the crazy number of cases that are being diagnosed. Again, let's go back. This virus will end as soon as the election is over. It didn't. So please fuck off. Thank you. Stand by. Oh my gosh. Hang on. Drink of water. Drink of water. All right. Where are we? Okay, that's my take on Biden and the election. Again, folks, I actually, if you're a Trump, if you're a MAGA hat wearer, I want you to, for a little while at least, spend a little bit of time with your family, doing the things you enjoy, and not being so wrapped up in this election. Not being so wrapped up in who won or who lost. Quit starting fights. Take a breath. Because at the end of the day, Trump didn't help you improve your life. You helped you improve your life. Or in some cases, make your life worse. You are in charge. You are the president of your own personal kingdom, okay? Your own country. Joe Biden isn't going to make your life any better or any worse. You do that. So that's why when my guy lost, because I voted for Trump, and he lost, shrug. I don't give a fuck. Who's next? Okay. You are in charge. Go out and make your own life better. That's my advice to you. Hey, I dropped a new version of a new episode of the Lost Zane recordings today on Patreon. I also dropped a free view of it wherever you download podcasts. In fact, wherever you download this podcast, you'll see there that the free view of the Lost Zane Recordings is available, and that is part of my Patreon. My Patreon behind my paywall is $5 or $10 a month. That is nothing. And I give you the Lost Zane Recordings twice a week, the Ben and Eric Patreon podcast once a week. Love that show. Love working with Ben again. Not to mention the Insane Asylum, which is my music radio show on Q100 in Northern Michigan. I make that available for you, commercial free. Smarter Than a Former Drug Dealer Trivia with Dale. And then 5, count them 5 every week, Patreon bonus podcast, which is an extension of this podcast. Okay, that all for you on my Patreon. If you like my show and you think, man, Zane's working his ass off, throw $5 or $10 a month at me. But it's not like you don't get anything. I give you my Patreon. I don't like the old, hey, some shows put a donate button on their page, and I'm like, oh, fuck, no way. I don't want to do that. I'm not a charity. I like it so that if you give me something, I try to give you as much as possible to keep you happy. Thank you. In fact, I just had somebody sign up on Patreon the other day. Thank you very much. All right. Nick, don't text me during the show. I love you, but I'm working. Don't text me during the show. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate you, but I can't be distracted, man. Thank you very much. All right. Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid, 616-532-6600. Love them so much. They are along 44th Street, just east of 131. They are amazing, and I appreciate them. Get your domestic, Asian, or your European vehicle repaired at Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid, 616-532-6600. You have a company that can repair your car. Irvines.com is their website. You can check them out. Look at all the Google reviews of amazing people who have already utilized their services. Thank you so much to Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid. Okay, one of my newest sponsors that I'm super stoked about is Forever Lawn, West Michigan. More and more people are doing this. Instead of grass that looks like shit because the female dog pees all over it and there's dead spots by the end of the year, synthetic lawn is the way to go. It's absolutely perfect. And at Forever Lawn, West Michigan, they have, oh my gosh, so many different types of synthetic grass. I believe 11 of them, of the highest quality, natural-looking synthetic grass for residential and commercial properties, okay? So whether it's you want a putting green in your backyard, or you need dog grass for your kennel business, or you just want the front lawn to look perfect all year long, Forever Lawn, West Michigan. Their website is foreverlawn.com/WMI, okay? Their number is 616-532-60. I'm sorry, that's Irvine's number. Their number is 616-258-6450. 616-258-6450 for Forever Lawn, West Michigan. Laura Caprara, thank you so much at Stellafly. If your business needs to utilize or doesn't utilize social media, you're making a huge mistake. How are you going to tell people about your pizza business or whatever? Stellafly.com helps you utilize social media. Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, they do it all. Your business needs to utilize Stellafly to be able to get your message out there, okay? Because if you're not utilizing social media, seriously, money is going down the tubes. You need a company like Stellafly to help you navigate that. Thank you to Stellafly. They're online at stellafly.com. S as in Sam, Tella fly. Stellafly.com. Okay. What a catastrophe in the radio industry. It is, seriously, I thought that we were approaching the end of the firings when it comes to iHeartMedia. But they are the ones that seem to have the most the most days like this. I was on the receiving end of this in January when like I was describing to you in the intro, they my buddies Phil Tower and Tim Fagan, they reached out, hey, we need to talk to you. I called them, excuse me, and they're like, yeah, we got to fire you. I go, fire me? I make $10 an hour. What do you mean fire me? What? Yeah, we're firing everybody that makes $10 an hour. So they had this mass firing. I think they lost like 1/6 of their workforce or something like that all around the country, and they fired all these people. Well, since then that happened again, and it's happening right now. Another mass firing at iHeart. This is terrible. Let me get into this. Hold on a second. Some things I want to read. That company for the past week has been just firing people left and right. Now, here in West Michigan, you've got now this handful of radio stations that they run, like the most listened to in the entire market. Now, when I say most listened to, you have to take this with a grain of salt, because the amount of people that are actually listening to the radio is greatly diminished these days. So, yes, you can still have the market share, but the market share is of a smaller number. So I always give the example of 20 years ago, there might have been 200,000 people listening to the radio. Okay. And then now you have like only 100,000 people. So you can still have a huge share, but it's only of 100,000 from where it was 200,000. So you see, and that's, like Freeburg and Hot Wings, they have like a 25 share in Grand Rapids, but so the share is the same, but the overall number of people that are listening is incredibly reduced. And that's no fault of theirs. It's just that the amount of choices that the audience has to listen to is well, there's a lot more like opportunities for them to spend their time, whether it be on their phone or whatever it may be. So that has caused a real dent in advertising. And so much so that, in fact, Freeburg and Hot Wings Company, Town Square, is pretty much putting all their eggs into the basket of digital online marketing, okay? They don't even subscribe to ratings anymore at Town Square, which is what you base your advertising on. So that's all happening. That gives you an idea of the state of the radio industry. So I hear, just as I'm getting started on the weekend, that iHeart Grand Rapids, they have a sports station, 96.1, and they just fired Jim Costa and Brian Fongers. First I heard about Costa. Stu called me up and goes, "Hey, did you hear about Costa?" I go, "Oh, what? Are you serious?" Yeah, they fired him. Like, holy crap. And then another person in radio calls me up, and another guy who works for another company, and he's actually worried about his job. I go, "Well, yeah, I think you should be. I think just because you don't work for iHeart doesn't mean that this won't happen to you. You should absolutely start to plan." And he tells me that Brian Fongers, the producer for it was known as the And Jim Show, because Big Drew, in a amazing no one to fold a move 2 weeks earlier, stepped out, and it changed jobs. So they fire Costa, they fire Fongers, and then the big one, they fire Phil Tower. You're like, who is that? Well, this is seriously a legend in West Michigan radio. This guy, it needs to be pointed out, I think, that Phil is probably one of the most aggressive pit bulls when it comes to this industry, bullish on everything, and a real winner. If you are working with Phil Tower, you're working with a guy who has an unbelievable track record of success when it comes to how to run a radio station. He knows everything. He's forgotten more about radio than everybody else. He is the one guy you have to have. You have to have. Well, in fact, those other guys you needed to have. You have to have them. What they did on 96.1 local show, it kicked ass for a number of years. They're now bringing in the satellite programming, and this is that. I know I'm going all over the place here, but that is another reason why Freeburg and Hot Wings will probably not have a problem. Is they are the satellite programming. When you are the guys that they're putting on all those other stations, that's good, and you're insulated there. So you're not. I don't think that they're going to be in jeopardy of anything really. They might have to take a hit locally from the local station at some point, but there's ways it could be worse. You could be like Brian and Jim Costa, who are just out. But Tower, holy shit. I cannot believe you fired fucking Phil fucking Tower. Oh my God. If you fire anybody, you can fire everybody, and Phil could still run the fucking radio station. Phil could do it all himself. He has been. So to me, this is one of the every time there's one of these mass firings, I'm like, well, this is surely the big one. But this one actually has to be the big one. I cannot, and I don't know how they do it. If Fagan just wakes up on Friday and then looks at his email and says, hey, you got to fire a bunch of people. And actually, I think that that's the way it is. I actually think that it's that way. I have nothing to back that up. But I think he basically just starts out his workday. Well, okay, got to start the workday today. Got to do, and then an email comes in and says, you need to blow out $200,000 in salary. Get to it. Holy shit. My God. Fuck, if I'm him, I'll say, well, let's start with me because I don't want to be here anymore. Fuck this shit. I am out. This is an absolute nightmare. And oh my God. Let me read to you what some people are saying about this. I know this is some inside radio shit, but listen to this. Everyone who works at places like iHeart, Cumulus, Town Square, etc. This is from mibuzzboard.com, which this site gets a lot of shit, but it's a lot of radio people and people who are enthusiasts of radio with their opinions on things. And I think it makes sense. Cumulus, Town Square, etc. all know the deal. You're a number on a spreadsheet, and it's a matter of when, not if. They all know it. Sad but true. No one is surprised anymore. It's not about ratings, job performance, work ethic. It's purely about bottom lines. From over-leveraged, broken companies in debt to an unsustainable level. B93 was/is the number one station in the market, and they've bounced everyone from there except this person wrote weak morning show. I don't believe that. But it's true. I mean, when they bounced Conrad, I thought, oh, fuck, here we go, man. Which easily could be next to talk about the morning show. It has to be hard for anyone left there to go to work each day and feel good about themselves. Local radio and media is where it's at and going. The iHearts, Gannett's, M-Lives of the world, it's just a matter of time. Side note, Phil Tower is a great guy, but he had to have known this day was coming. He's no fool and would be a huge asset to real local radio and WGVU, things like that. Man. This person adds, from a strictly business perspective, iHeart's model execution is actually smart in that it's the only way they will survive. I'm not giving them a pass for the countless errors they have made along the way that put them in their current position, but choices are slim for them at this point, and anyone who was taken by surprise by getting let go just wasn't paying attention. That's true. Here's the thing. Radio is dead unless if they take these radio stations and sell them off individually to people who want to buy them at pennies on the dollar. That's the only way they'll sell, first of all, because nobody wants to buy them. And then I don't know who would fucking want to buy them. When you walk in, the energy bill alone is ridiculously high. You're in the red the second you sign on the dotted line. And I mean, for places like, I hate to toot my own horn, but I didn't plan this. It just happened because I had to. But it's making podcasting looking pretty fucking good right now. And there's a ton of talent out there. If those guys want to do something, they could probably bust out their own podcast before any amount of time and call upon all of the advertisers that used to support their show. Fuck, you could bring back Big Drew and Jim and fucking with an iPhone. Seriously. There's so many avenues right now for people that are producing content if they just dig a little. Absolutely great. All right, I'll bite. Sorry I busted your balls, Nick. I can't. Yes, Nick, I know. You do realize the election isn't over until the Electoral College makes their decision on December 14th. Of course. But we can still get Trump to concede when he learns that there has been no wrongdoing. You're absolutely right, Nick. Yes, we know that. You have to take those electoral votes. They haven't even certified the elections in a lot of those states. But typically, as it goes, Nick, you know as well as I do that in every other election, the opponent, the person who's losing, in this case, Trump, goes, yeah, I lost, and waves the flag. But not in this case. Trump says voter irregularities, fraud, stolen election, and all that other bullshit. And you might believe that. I don't. We will see. And Trump has every right to explore that, which I said. Do I think he has anything? Fuck no. Do I think he's a sore loser? Yes. And that's it. He lost. But still, I struggle when I'm trying to focus on the camera. Hell, I can't even get through this show without throwing up or coughing, for God's sake. Holy crap. Okay. Who the hell is this Chris Nikich? What is this guy all about? This is a story we all need. This is what I talked about in the intro. Chris Nikich is a 21-year-old dude who is the first person on the planet to sign up for an Ironman triathlon. Yesterday was the Ironman in Florida. In the 42-year history of Down syndrome, 42-year history of, that's been around a lot longer, of Ironman, no Down syndrome person has ever even attempted to do this. But he did. And, well, when I took one look at Chris Nikich leading up to this story, and I haven't spoken about it at all leading up to this, but I have been in touch with his dad about getting him on the show. I was kind of waiting. I took one look at him, and I go, this guy's going to kill this thing. And the thing that stood out to me was his hips. One of the things you do if you've ever done triathlon, which I used to do, as you all know, was I take a look to see how in shape they are. And with one look, you can tell if someone's ready to do an Ironman. One look. And I took one look at this guy, and I go, holy fuck, well, he's going to kill it. He looked to be lean and strong. And, well, who was it? Shakira that said the hips don't lie? Dude has some power in there. There's no question. So his goal is to put in 140 plus miles in an Ironman triathlon. You know how few people on the planet have done this? I mean, the numbers are staggering about the amount of people that have actually pulled this off. This is, and most people would agree, one of the hardest things that a human being can do. Because if you don't know, you start off in the water and you have a very long warm-up. You get in the water and you swim for a very long time, 2.4 miles. The fast guys do it in an hour. All right? Imagine that. So you swim for 2.4 miles. Then you get out of the water, run as fast as you can to your bike, and you pedal for 112 miles. Now that's where, oh my God, it really just grinds on you. It seems like it's taking forever. It's just an absolute abortion. And then all of those muscles that were being used to move that bike, now the opposite ones are being used when you get off of the bike, and then you have to run a marathon. And then there's the mental game involved in this. And for me, it didn't really happen until the run. The bike, I was like, oh, yeah, this is great. I'm crushing it. And then you realize 1 mile in, you have 25 miles to go. and your brain starts to play tricks on you. You start to hit the wall, you bonk, and then you're like, oh my God, I barely made it. Seriously, it was an absolute slog and a nightmare. Never did it again. Life got in the way after that point when I started working on BBL, which took up all of my time. And then Ironman and triathlon died on the vine with me, and I don't do it anymore. I sometimes think about wanting to do it, but the amount of time to do this is unbelievably daunting. So you take this 21-year-old Chris Nikic who has Down syndrome, and he begins this long process of getting in shape, and he's done it. He did it. He fucking finished the thing. Now, make no mistake, your only opponent in an Ironman is the course. You're not racing against anybody else. You're just racing against the course, and it's trying to kill you. I can only imagine how many people this guy has motivated. It is absolutely incredible to see, and I really applaud him for sticking to it because, anybody doing it, let alone having Down syndrome. I think what the big thing for me is that this guy has pulled this off, and if anyone has a family member that has Down syndrome, it kind of makes them like, oh, maybe in a weird way, maybe I don't need to guard that child so much because I know some people who have family members that have Down syndrome, and they tell me that one of the things that they kind of struggle with is trying to take care of everything for them and not letting them find their way. But this guy has done that, and I think that that's kind of like shattering a lot of preconceived notions about a person with Down syndrome. And what they can accomplish. I'm really loving this story, and for the dad and the family to support this effort and to keep him encouraged, and for him to keep that type of focus, and get this done on one of the hardest things that any human can accomplish, I think is very motivating and uplifting to anyone who's heard it, because think about what's going on in your life and what you're struggling with. Well, Chris Nikic, he has Down syndrome. He's faced with a short lifespan. He is faced with a compromised set of compromised intellectual skill set is the way I'll describe it, and yet has had all of the focus to be able to get this done. And so I'm just really, really stoked about this. I know a number of you were following the story. Michael Ball was following it. Joe Morin was following it. And this dude just crushed it. 16 hours, 46 minutes, 9 seconds. And I'm thinking about if you've ever seen the finish line of an Ironman event, the best stories are when it's dark. Those are the people who come in and they're the late arrivers, the handful of people that are just been fighting it. And, everybody's done, but they have the same amount of, you can feel it building as you're getting to the finish line. And then that last half mile, oh my God, I'm getting emotional just talking about it. And I can just imagine what this kid and the people who are cheering him, how not a dry eye in the house as he's coming in. And then oh God. Oh, and then they put the, medal around this kid. I am just really, really happy about this. I did speak with Dad about it, and he said after the race we'll talk. So keep your eyes open. I'll let you know when I can do this. I'm thinking I would do it on a Zoom and then record it with Dad and Chris and me, and then I'll post it for you. So keep your fingers crossed that they don't forget about me. But I'm just really, really happy about this. So the article says sporting cuts on his knees from a minor bike wreck earlier in the day. Oh, there you go. You got some marks. Nikic duly did the rest, completing the marathon leg in darkness. You got and by the way, his marathon you runners will understand. He was just a little bit slower on the back half than the front. And for considering what he has been through in the day, that's ridiculously amazing. I think he was only 10 minutes slower on his back half than he was on the front. And oh my God, I was like an hour slower. His journey to the finish line had started 3 years earlier when, after noticing his son was becoming increasingly sedentary, Nick Nikic encouraged him to become a 1% fitter each day. Training began with a single push-up. My God. To Chris, this race was more than just a finish line and a celebration of victory. Yeah, I know that with a lot of people who have Down syndrome, they have a tendency to eat, and their little tickers can only take so much. Obesity is very prevalent in people with Down syndrome. And that's why I love the fact that Dad did this, because people who have Down syndrome, their lifespan is greatly reduced because of the effects of the virus, the syndrome on their heart. So when I saw a very trim Chris Nikic, I was like, oh, this is fantastic. Ironman has served as his platform to become one step closer to his goal of living a life of inclusion, normalcy, and leadership. It's about being an example to other kids and families that face similar barriers, proving no dream or goal is too high. If Chris can do an Ironman, he can do anything. Yes. My God. 33,000 new followers on Instagram, where he has received messages calling him a superstar, thanking him for inspiring the parents of children with Down syndrome. I cannot believe this. I'm not going to lie to you. When I saw that he was attempting this, I mean, fucking Ironman it's just a really, really hard thing to do for anyone. And for him to attempt this and win and do this, and in my opinion, win the race. If you finish an Ironman, you have won a race. Absolutely shattering any preconceived notions about what a person with Down syndrome can do. Just so great. I love this story, man. So cool. I'll link it up so you can check it out yourself. Hey, please subscribe, rate, and review this podcast online. Wherever, if it's Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen. If you could throw 5 stars at me and review it, I would love that. Please do so. It helps out. Blue Frost IT is the managed IT service provider for the Eric Zane Show podcast. I just paid my bill, okay? Every month, it's just a little bit of cash I pay, and I've got my own IT department. That's what you can do, too. Because if your business, if you get in the weeds and your computer is screwed up, the only thing you're going to do is lose money while you try to get that fixed. Okay? Reach out to Blue Frost IT online at bluefrostit.com. 616-200-8550 for Blue Frost IT. The Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage on board with the show. There's Mario's sign right there. Oh, no. Hold on a second here. I shouldn't do this, but I'm gonna. Nick's still talking about the election. There's a war going on amongst you guys. Rob's providing like links. Hold on. I'll pick this up in a second. Nick's writing a book. No, these guys are definitely not listening about Chris Nikic. Come on, fellas. It'll all work out. Oh, my God. Nick, text Eric and ask him if he knows Rover out of Cleveland. I know who Rover is, but no, I don't know him. All right, sorry, I got sidetracked. And Laura just laughs at them all. So ridiculous. Come on, guys, it's over, okay? The election is over. It's done. You two, Nick and Rob, fighting like cats and dogs. Holy crap. Thank you to Mario for being on board with the show. The Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage, NMLS number 3035. Call Mario when you need a mortgage, 231-332-6505. Thank you, Mario. Whether it's your first mortgage or your 10th, you need Mario. And, go ahead and call upon a couple other guys or ladies, and they'll probably say, well, we can do this for you. We can do this for you. And I'm sure they're very good, but just include Mario in that process. You should talk to more than one person who wants to get you into a mortgage. 231-332-6505. Some of them aren't going to want to work with you because you're a first-timer or you've got awful credit, maybe bankruptcy or a divorce. Mario will work with everybody. 231-332-6505. Last but not least for the show is Horizon Hydroponics. We bring you Growers 101. John and I, we do the show, Growers 101. Horizon Hydroponics, Horizen, hydroponics.com. Make no mistake, if you're growing indoors, you need Horizon Hydroponics. You can buy in person, 4 stores on Alpine and Grand Rapids, Growers Outlet in Byron Center, Michigan, and then in Kalamazoo and in Lansing. If you're growing indoors, you need Horizon Hydroponics. Don't worry, before long, as soon as this cold winter, which is coming, ends, we'll be back growing outside again. You'll still need Horizon Hydroponics. Everything you need, get it on their website, horizonhydroponics.com. And when you spend $250 or more, the shipping is free. Use the coupon code ZaneShow at checkout, and you will save 10%. Nick, it's over, buddy. It's going to be okay. He wrote, it's not, though, Eric. It's never over. Was that John Belushi? Did Animal House? It's never over. It's not over till we say it's over. It's okay. It's gonna be all right, man. That it's we wanted Trump to win, and it didn't work out. So now the next guy, it's his turn. You got to let him try. He won. It's not over, Eric. Dude, but it is. It is over. It's over. Rambo, nothing is over. There you go, Rambo. Nothing is over. It's over. Trust me. It's over. In 4 years, okay, you only got to wait 3 years to the next election process, and who's it going to be? Trump can run again. He can give 4 more years. Wouldn't that be something? Now, that'd be a hell of a story. Then he can have a shot at another turn. And then if he wins, then great. Then we'll say it's not over. Come on, man. You got to move on with your life. This one's over, Nick. Trust me. It's going to work out that it's over. Was it over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor? All right. Oh, boy. The quarterback in question is Kyle Allen. Ugh. So there's a move in football you can do. It's called a leg whip. And I think it can be dangerous for the person who's whipping the leg, but not in this case, because Jabril Peppers of the New York Giants, he was the one whipping the leg. And what you do is, when you're kind of engaged with somebody, you can whip your leg around and still tackle somebody. Your leg would hit their body and cause them to trip or whatever. It's dangerous, though, because not only can the leg whipper have something bad happen to him, but the guy who he's hitting when he whips the leg can have something bad to him. In the game against the Washington Redskins, Peppers is flying in, and whatever, he's trying to get the quarterback, Kyle Allen, and he spins around, and he whips that damn leg, and holy shit, it's like Jabril Peppers' leg that he whipped was a samurai sword, and Kyle Allen's twig was a piece of uncooked spaghetti because the samurai sword just cut his leg right in half. It was, oh my God. I don't even know. No, it's not going to beat Justin the Backyard Wrestler. But we have a real dogfight for second here on Flippity Muppity Bone Break of the Year. And this one had multiple angles. It had slow-mo. Yeah, I think that Kyle Allen is going to take out the two skateboarding idiots, different videos, who had their ankles go flippity muppity. Yeah, I think Kyle Allen is a hard and fast number 2 here when it's all said and done at the end of the year. It's going to take a miracle to beat Justin, the backyard wrestler, who broke both his legs from a 1-foot jump. But this one, I mean, this was just gruesome. They described it diagnosed with a small fracture and a dislocated ankle. So it's like the leg broke and then the ankle is what came apart. It was just a horrible, horrible sequence. And of all teams for it to happen to, Kyle Allen plays for the Washington Redskins, okay? The Washington Redskins, one of their former players invented the flippity muppity leg break. Joe Theismann in the 1980s. That was my first exposure to the compound fracture when Lawrence Taylor hit him and just busted it in a million pieces for the world to see on Monday Night Football. I was like, oh my God, what the fuck is this? I'm like a little kid. I'm like all grossed out. All I wanted to do was watch football and beat off at whatever age I was, 14 years old. And I'm like, oh my God, how am I going to beat off tonight with this in my brain? Shit, oh fuck, this is terrible. Son of a bitch. Oh God. So yeah, the Washington Redskins, they invented the flippity muppity leg break. And who comes in to replace Kyle Allen? One of the Redskin quarterbacks is a recipient of a muppity flippity leg break. That's right, Alex Smith, who broke his leg so bad in the same fashion that it's looked at as a freaking miracle that he's even playing football again. I mean, this guy, he almost had to have his leg amputated, Alex Smith, after years ago when his leg went flippity muppity. And he actually, that thing, he ended up getting like a bad infection that almost caused that leg to actually have to come off. So the fact that it's for the Redskins, it's another muppity flippity bone break, and on the team that invented that compound fracture, and then the guy who's replacing him is a former. The only thing that would have made this even more spectacular is if it then happened to Alex Smith. I mean, my God, if I'm Alex Smith and then and that happens to me, I see the guy's leg go muppity. I'm like, oh shit, you got to be kidding me, man. That takes some serious stones to get in there and do that. And then if it happens to him, if that happened again to Alex Smith, I would have just ripped the whole leg off and thrown it into the stands and said, somebody come get me. I'm done with this shit. Fuck it. I am out. Holy crap. That's going to do it, folks. The Eric Zane Show podcast is done for today. Patriot Nick, just remember, the election is over. He lost. We're moving on. The mayor of Paris, France, sent a note, a tweet, I should say, and wrote, "Welcome back, USA." Dude, this is done. All right, folks, I'll be on Patreon in a little bit. Thanks for putting up with me having to go cough. God, that was terrible. That'll come out in post. Thanks again, folks. Talk to you down the road. Bye-bye.